Hello, and welcome to the Is It Just Me podcast. I am your host, Dr. Angie Inch. This podcast will entail truthful, transparent conversation about everyday life and the lessons learned. This podcast is from everyone, from teenagers to the elderly. Although some topics discussed may be rated R, every conversation is based on living life and learning life lessons. Today's topic is an open discussion where we discuss a variety of topics and what's going on and what's been happening. I've been on social media and I've noticed that there has been a lot of things being discussed on social media that I just want to give my opinion on. And the first thing that I wanted to talk about was Ebony Williams making a statement when she was speaking with Ayana Van Zant, probably pronounced the name wrong, Ayana Van Zant, and she was stating how she would never date a bus driver. Now, before I get into the open discussion, I always like to state this disclaimer that everything that's discussed is the independent opinion and reality of myself. I am not an expert on anything. This is just my independent reality and opinion on these topics on the episode or the website or whatever was going on with Ebony Williams. If for those of you who don't know who she is, she's a reality star. She was on the Real Housewives of New York and she was engaged to a Caucasian male. However, they were having a conversation. I don't remember the whole gist of it, but she asked her, "Would you date a bus driver?" Ebony said no. She wouldn't. She would said if he owned the company. And she received so much backlash because then she went into saying how people that work those type of jobs like bus drivers, they were mediocre and they basically were content in the positions that they held. Basically, she was saying that they were average. I just want to speak on something, and I run into this a lot in having conversations with individuals. And it's like everyone has their own standards of what they want or what type of individual they want to be with, like how they see their life. But because your standards are your standards, you should not knock someone else's standards because that's their standard. And she kept saying something about being successful. What I took from what she was saying, she was basically saying that being a bus driver is mediocre. Like, why just stop at being a bus driver? Why not go ahead and be the owner of the bus company? And I get it. However, a lot of people fail to realize that success is subjective. And some individuals that drive the bus, they make six figures. To them, that may be what success is. They're successful in their own right because they feel that they're successful. Success is subjective. They might feel like they have a good job, they have a pension, they're able to provide for their family, they're able to do what they need to do. They're successful. At the end of the day, you not in any individual or anyone for whatever type of job that they choose, if they want to choose the white collar job or a blue collar job, it does not mean that they're not successful. Success is subjective. So I just feel what a lot of individuals do is once they get to a certain level, they tend to look down on individuals who are not on that level, and I don't feel that's right because some people want to be at that level. Some people may feel like they're successful at the level that they're at. And no, I'm not talking about people that are living in poverty and people who are living from check to check. That's a different topic. I'm talking about individuals who have a career or have a job, are consistent and they're part of the workforce, and they're doing a job that they've been doing for 20, 30 years. And this is something that they want to do. If someone wanted to be a bus driver for 25 years and that individual feels like they're successful because they're able to pay their bills and they're able to live how they choose to live, they consider themselves successful. Who are we to say that they're not successful? So her rationale, what she was saying, I really don't agree with it because again, success is subjective. Success doesn't look the same for everyone. Being successful doesn't look the same for everyone. Her version of success is not going to be the same version of success for someone else. So if a bus driver feels like they're successful because they have that job, they're able to provide, they're living their life, they're comfortable, I don't feel like we should look down on any individual because he's a bus driver. That's just my personal opinion on it. And that's just my personal opinion with anything, because at the end of the day, Who are we to tell individuals how to feel about their life? Who are we to say, oh, you're living your life right? No, you're living your life wrong. Like, that's the problem with society. Is like everyone has an opinion. And to me, no, your opinion doesn't matter, but that's not to everyone else. So I just think that whole looking down on someone because your standards are up here and their standards are down here, you feel like you can look down because their standards are different from you, is incorrect. Everyone has their own set of standards. And just because someone's standards are not as high as yours doesn't make yours better or correct and make theirs wrong. Something else that's been floating around on social media is the young lady. I've never heard of her until this situation happened. Young lady named Selena Powell dropped the sex tape on OnlyFans, and there was snippets of it going around on social media of her giving fellatio to Little Meech, the star of BMF. He portrays his father, who was a big time drug dealer, the head of BMF, on the series that 50 Cent produces. And she dropped the tape because he's allegedly dating Summer Walker now, the R&B singer. And it's just like, with a lot of young adults, I'm starting to notice that this is accepted behavior. I don't agree with it because I feel like at some point you're going to sit back and you're going to look back and you're going to be disgusted that your kids can look up a video of you on your knees. It looks like she's in a bathroom, a public bathroom, giving someone fellatio. And it's like, we're all adults. You can do what you want to do with your body and how you choose to do it. And if you're giving fellatio and that's what you're choosing to do with this individual, why is it being recorded for them, for one? And why do you feel like it's appropriate for you to drop that sex tape for the world to see? And it's just no shade to Kim Kardashian, but it seems like Kim Kardashian, with her becoming famous behind her sex tape with Ray J, she has a lot of young adults feeling like that's a way to fame. And I don't want to be known for having a sex tape. That's just me personally. I don't know about anybody else. I think I'm from the old school where we not recording shit. You not taking no pictures of me. We not doing any of that. And if you get any pictures of me, there's not going to be any indication of that belongs to my body. There's not going to be anything. You can say what you want to say. Only you and I will be the only ones that know that's me. If you choose to show it to somebody, there will be no telltale signs that those personal body parts belong to me. I don't know if I'm just old school or it's just the way that I was raised. It's just I just feel like certain things need to remain private, and I'm not with bringing the cameras into the bedroom because the only one that's gonna see what's going on in this bedroom between me and you is me and you. So my nigga, you better have a photographic memory because that's the only way you're gonna remember something. You're not recording me. I'm not with the playing the role play on camera and doing all of that. Like, I'm not doing it. It's not happening. There is no sex tape floating around of me because I'm not into recording anything. Call me old, call me what you want, but I'm just not with it. It just seems that it's so acceptable now that it's just so much, and it's just, girl, at what point are you going to realize that when you get older that you're going to one day have kids? And if you have a daughter, how would you feel if your daughter seeing that at a certain age? That's just like the Freaknik documentary that they're supposed to be starting, that individuals are trying to stop from coming out. Now, when Freaknik was around, I was a teenager. No, I was never able to make it to any of those festivities. However, I've heard it was a doozy, but those individuals that partook in some of that stuff on video, they're trying to stop the people from making a documentary from those recordings. So that leads me to say, so those individuals that did those things on camera back then, clearly they regret it because they don't want them to release the Freaknik documentary. If it was something that you didn't regret, you wouldn't care if they released the documentary. And it's just like sometimes you be in the moment, and I know, like, we all have done crazy things for niggas that we thought we was going to be with forever. However, it's just some things that's just gonna always be around, like that. I'm just not with. I'm just sorry. That's just my personal opinion. I don't think it's cute. I don't want to get rich from a nigga seeing my pussy. I just don't want to do that. I don't want to get rich from a nigga seeing me sucking dick. That's just not something that I want to be known for. I don't want to get famous for that. I don't want to get rich from that. It's just certain things I just feel are not classy. It's very classless. I'm going to say that. And no, I'm not judging anyone if that's what you choose to do. This is just my personal opinion and my take on it. But I feel like it's very classless and it's very tasteless to do those things. But again, This is just my opinion. And with me giving my opinion, I also want to speak on. I noticed there's quite a few individuals, and I see it through social media more so. It's more so the young adults, and it's also some individuals in my age bracket who have this notion that if you have an opinion about something, or if somebody don't agree with something that you do, you're considered a quote unquote hater. Let's be clear. In order for someone to be a hater or to be hating on you, you have to possess or have something that individual may want, or you have to be doing something that individual wish that they were doing or aspire to be. You can't have one of nothing and two of anything and call someone a hater because they don't agree with you. This is a whole big old word. There's trillions of people that's walking around this earth. They're not a hater because they don't agree with something that you said or something that you did. And since I've started doing my podcast and I'm on social media and I do a lot of videos, I get a lot of commentary from individuals. And some of the things that I post, there are individuals who don't agree with what I say and what I post. And that's fine. Again, everyone opinion matters. Let's be clear. Everyone opinion matters. Not to me, but it matters to someone. However, I'm not ever going to call someone a hater because they disagree with something that I said or something that I posted. And me and my 14-year-old son was having a conversation, and he said to me, because he my page is public so he can see it, and of course some of his friends probably see it, and I guess they talk about the videos I put up. More so I try to shed light on some of the things by putting a little sarcasm to certain things. But he said to me, a lot of the topics you talk about are realistic and they're controversial. So, because they're realistic and they're controversial, they're going to bring controversy. And I was like, you know what? That's true. So, I don't take anything that anyone disagrees with me on to offense. What I take offense to is when you come on my post, on my status, on my video, and you try to come for me as a person and you don't know me. You're basing your opinion off of a 60-second video, and then you're trying to come for me as an individual, as a parent, as a grandparent. That's not what we do. Your opinion to what I'm saying is your opinion to what I'm saying. Just because I put a 60-second video up, that doesn't tell you who I am. That doesn't give you insight into the type of individual that I am. So that's where there's an issue. But I understand, once again, what my 14-year-old was saying. A lot of the things that I talk about are realistic and they're controversial. So it brings controversy. Get it? That does not mean that everyone who disagrees with something that I say is a hater. That doesn't mean that just because someone disagrees with something that you say, they're a hater. In order for someone to be a hater, they have to display hating behavior. It has to be some type of something that you possess or something that you're doing, something that somebody wants to attain or aspire to be called a hater. Just because we disagree does not make us a hater. Another thing that I wanted to discuss, which really had me feeling some type of way because I love both artists, was Chris Brown and Usher. Allegedly, I'm saying allegedly because this hasn't been confirmed by either person nor denied, that they got into an altercation over something with Tiana Taylor. We all know Tiana Taylor's from Harlem. Most of us that's from Harlem know who she is. Us Harlemites, we rep Harlem hard. I don't know about anybody else, but I know you from Harlem, I'm repping you hard. So, for one, Tiana Taylor is very, very unproblematic. Body bang, nice personality, and she's a Sag like me. So, she's very unproblematic. However, the situation allegedly that transpired had something to do with Chris Brown disrespecting Tiana Taylor and Usher trying to pull him up. Again, I'm going to say allegedly. And they said that Chris Brown and his entourage jumped Usher. Now, again, this is all alleged. However, if this is true and Chris Brown and his entourage jumped Usher, I'm sorry to say, as much as I love him, Chris Brown, you are definitely the problem. Because I have never heard of Usher being in any altercation. I have never heard of Tiana being in any incident since she's been in the industry, and she's been in the industry since she was a teenager. I'm really starting to think like Chris Brown, you might need some therapy, some intense therapy, because like, honey, that is not the way to go. Again, this is all alleged, so I don't even know if this incident really transpired or happened, because after the incident happened, The next day was the Lovers and Friends Fest, and both Usher and Chris Brown performed, and there didn't seem to be any animosity. So I don't know if this is the blog just taking stuff out of proportion, blowing it out of proportion like they normally do, or if this really happened. I'm just saying, allegedly it happened. If it did, Chris Brown is definitely the problem. Also, what's going around that I've seen on the blogs is Ashanti and Nelly are dating again. Okay, I am here for it. I liked them together as a couple when they were a couple years ago, and I'm here for it. Everybody like, oh, they went back together. Why they broke up? And it's like sometimes in adult situations and relationships, sometimes you gotta let a motherfucker go to let them know where they had you fucked up, and then let them spin the block to see what the fuck they had and what they missed. Listen, it happened. It happens to the best of us. Nene Leakes divorced her husband and then remarried him. She's a Sag also. However, Ashanti is a Libra, and I really like Libras. And I'm not really into the signs, but I'm noticing I'm starting to pay more attention to a person's sign, like how they act and how they interact with certain things and their demeanor. And I am my sister, my favorite sister. She's a Libra. My sister Keisha is the sweetest person that you will ever meet. She keeps it very genuine, keeps it 100. If I'm wrong about something, my sister's going to be like, no, Ange, you're wrong. She's not the yes, ma'am type of person, which I love because I really can't stand individuals who are surrounded by yes, ma'am type of people. But my sister, she's a Libra. So Ashanti's a Libra. And I don't know her personally, but I'm going to assume that she has some characteristics like my sister. And I'm just here for her and Nelly. I like Nelly as an artist. I don't know him as a person. And I never really heard too many negative things about him being a womanizer or cheating or being disrespectful to females. So I am definitely here for them dating again. Like I said, sometimes you got to let a nigga know what they missing for them to spin the block, for them to come back and do it correctly. However, I feel like Ashanti's in her, she's about 42 and Nelly is in his 40s also. And it's like this time around, if y'all gonna be together and y'all, I think y'all need to make it official and get engaged, get married. That's if that's something that you guys are looking to do. Because marriage isn't for everyone, as we all know. Some people that's the goal to they date to get married. Some people don't want to get married. They feel like it's just a piece of paper. Again, it all depends. It's individualized. It all depends on the individual. But I just feel like I'm here for it and I just hope their relationship works out. Also, I'm gonna double back to individuals that are yes ma'am type of individuals. And me growing and glowing and evolving and to me being the best me that I can be, I sit back and I self-reflect on a lot of things and a lot of relationships and past relationships and friendships that I had with individuals. And I'm starting to notice that some individuals, they're not just genuine people. And they just have their own agenda. And sometimes you don't fit into that agenda. And it's okay because people grow apart all the time. But one of my pet peeves is individuals who dish things but can't take it, or they want you to agree with everything that they do, and when you don't, like, now it's a problem and you guys are having a falling out because you disagree about something. And that's one of my pet peeves, and as I get older, I realize I'm not for individuals that are like that. As you get older and as you move through life, as you go on, like, of course it's inevitable that you're going to disagree with your friend, your family, your significant other, because everybody's not always going to agree with everything that you do, just like you're not going to always agree with what someone else does. But I just feel individuals who always want people to agree with what they're doing or the yes ma'am them, like, I just don't fit in the realm of that. And I really feel like individuals like that need to sit back and self-reflect and have some deep counseling or cleanse or something, because why do you want to be surrounded by people that just yes ma'am you? Like, that's like you might as well go get a fucking dog or something, because I don't want no friends surrounded by me that's always going to agree with everything that I do and not going to keep it real and let me know, no, that's not it, or no, I don't like that, or no, you were wrong, or whatever the case may be. But again, that's just me. And I'm really starting to see as I get older, the older I get, the more that I grow, the more that I mature, I'm starting to really realize I'm different. I'm different. I belong in a bubble because as time, it seems like the older I get, the more I start to separate and realize who's truly a friend and who's an associate and who's just someone cool to be around and who's someone that's good to invite to a function. And I'm really starting to learn like all friends are not well-rounded friends, which means all friends are not to be included in everything. And all friends are not friends. Some of them are associates. You have your friends, you have your associates, and you have individuals that you just know. At this big old age of mine, I'm really starting to see that everything is not for everybody. And I'm at a point now where it's like I'm okay with it. At one point, like I would really be upset about people moving funny or doing shady stuff and things like that. Now where I am, it's okay. I see you. I see you for who you are. I'm gonna accept you for who you are, and I'm gonna handle you accordingly. As opposed to before, I would pull you up on it, try to have a conversation with you. We could talk about it. You would still be fake about what we had the conversation about. And me being me, I'm still giving you chances. Like, I don't know what that's about with me. That's something that I don't know why I give people 1,001 chances to show me that they fucking fake. But child, I don't know when the fuck I'm gonna figure it out, but I'm getting there. But it's just, again, certain people are good for certain things. Like you have people for seasons and reasons. And I'm starting to really realize that it is that way. All your friends are not going to be well rounded where you can include them in everything. And it's just like, I've never been the type of individual to care if somebody is my childhood friend and I bring them around a group of friends that I met as adults and they exchange numbers and they become friends. I don't care. I don't care about you being friends with my childhood friends because I'm secure in the relationship that I have with my childhood friends. So I'm not upset because y'all changed numbers and y'all hanging out without me. And like I don't care about stuff like that. But as I get older, I'm starting to notice people are really territorial when it comes to stuff like that. Like they don't want you to be friends with their other friends. It's like you come around those friends for whatever, just speak, say hi, whatever. Don't exchange no number. Don't get cool with them. It's crazy. I have an ex friend called me a friend stealer because she brought friends around. We were all hanging together. She brought her friends around that she had met. We all got cool with the friend. I started hanging out with the friends, and now we're all cool. And I was called a friend stealer. And it's, first of all, that's a human. You can't steal a human, that's a person. But it's just, I'm really starting to see people are very territorial when it comes to certain things. And again, you have to deal with people accordingly. I'm sorry that I'm the friend stealer because I thought the goal was for all of us to be cool. And I guess that wasn't the goal in that ex friend's mind because how did I become a friend stealer? Because I got cool with individuals you brought around. I thought that was the goal for all of us to be cool. But my thing is, if you're that type of person and you're territorial, why bring them around if you don't want them to get cool with other people? I'm not going to be nasty to your friends that you're bringing around. And everyone that knows me knows that I'm a cool ass person. Now, let's be clear. I might look mean as shit. And let's be clear, I am mean as shit. But when I say that shit, like, you have to do something to bring it out of me. I'm not just walking around mean to you just because. I'm like that. I'm not that type of person. But you do something to me, oh yeah, you're gonna get the mean bitch come out of me. I'm a cool person. I like to have fun. I crack jokes. I play around all day. Like that's what I do. If you know that I'm that type of person, why bring an individual around that's going to like me and want to be friends with me, but you don't want them to be friends with me unless you're around? I never understood that. But again, those type of individuals, I feel like, and this is just again my personal opinion, I feel like most individuals that are territorial, they're territorial because they're the type of people that don't be honest with themselves and they're not honest with their friends. So let's say you're the friend and you bring me around your other friends. You talk about me to your other friends just like you talk to me about your friends. So now you don't really want us all to get cool because you don't want to be exposed as the motherfucker that's talking about everybody. That's just my take on it. And that was just my experience with it. Again, I'm not the individual that's territorial with friends. I have friends from sixth grade. I have friends that I met 10 years ago. I have friends that I met 20 years ago. I'm not that person. If my friends from 6th grade get cool with my friends that I met from 10 years ago and they hanging out without me, cool. I'm content in the relationship that I built with people. So I'm not worried about all of my friends being friends. That's the goal for all of us when we get together. We know each other. I don't like it to feel awkward when individuals are around because some people feel awkward when they're around people that they don't know. They feel awkward, uncomfortable. If I'm just the only person that they know, I got to work the room. It's better if everyone knows of each other and they can laugh and joke. But then again, I'm going to stick to I'm just different and I know I belong in the bubble. That's just the way it is. However, people that want yes men and ma'am around them, that's a pet peeve of mine. I'm sorry, but you guys need to do some real deep cleansing to find out why you want everybody to agree what it is that you do. Because I don't understand that. I want people to be objective and to be honest and to let me know about certain things. But again, like I keep saying, I am motherfucking different and I belong in the bubble. Individuals that want yes men or yes ma'ams around them, me and them don't get along too well. And it's just, I don't get along with individuals who feel like they have to lie about certain things. So before I end this episode, I'm just going to give a quick situation that happened that really aggravated me. But someone that I know had lost some weight, an extensive amount of weight. They look really nice. So I'm like, oh, girl, you look really nice. What did you do to lose weight? I'm trying to work on some things and do little different things, whatever. Basically, try to tell me she went vegan. I'm not even going to get into the exact thing, but she told me she went vegan. So I'm like, oh, okay. I said, yeah, I know I won't be doing that because that requires a lot of discipline just stop eating meat and whatever and go vegan. I said, but I'm like, but girl, you look great. I'm talking to someone else that knows the same individual. Why they tell me that they had gastric bypass surgery? So now I say all of this to say, why lie? Why do you feel the need to lie about how you lost weight? If you didn't want to tell me that you had surgery, you could just be like, I just changed my eating habits. And that's that. Voila, you went through all of this, got me thinking you fucking vegan. I'm somewhere telling you how I can never be vegan. I'm going all this, and your ass is lying. Shit like that pisses me off because it's like, what are you lying for? Again, you don't have to tell me your business. You don't have to tell me, oh, I went and had gastric bypass surgery. But why come up with this whole thing about you went vegan and you know your ass got up on that motherfucking table and they cut your stomach out or whatever the fuck they do when you get the gastric bypass surgery? Like, why lie? I don't be understanding it. I don't understand people. Again, I need to live in a bubble. I'm going to conclude today's episode with that, with people are weird and they're getting weirder and weirder by the day. I just wanted to discuss that because that is just something that like really is a big pet peeve of mine. If you don't want to tell somebody something, don't tell them. You don't have to go into a big old lie when you know that you had surgery. But again, I'm different and I know I belong in a bubble because I would have just said I had gastric bypass surgery. But again, that's just me and I tend to be too honest about certain shit. Thank you for joining me. Hope you join me next week when we'll discuss family versus relatives. Do you think family and relatives have the same definition? What differentiates family from relatives? What defines family? Why is it so hard for us to keep a close knit family together? We'll discuss all of that next week on Is It Just Me podcast.